The national champion is clad in big orange.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. The national champion is clad in big orange.
Pat Summit and Destiny have met 7 times before. Tonight is number 8.
Tennessee Volunteers have wrapped up an SEC outright regular season title. Connect with
the SEC runs through Rocky Top. Tennessee wins the SEC regular season crown for the 2nd consecutive season.
the 1-0. In the air, right center field. Rock's on the move. Rock get there. Tennessee walks it off. It's a mismatch. Deep three. Come on now. And don't connect. Probably driving this time. Indeed. New hand there. Down the middle. Got it. Reply. It's high and again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top. This is college football and it's absolute best.
Yes, sir. This is college athletics at its absolute best. Welcome into another episode of the Vol Fanatics Show. I am your host, Skylar Tarpley, and my co-host, Michael Allen. How are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening?
Man, we are doing fantastic. Back after a little bit of a hiatus last week. Just
Hey, now.
had some scheduling conflicts. It was both of us. One night it was me asking, "Hey, is it possible to move it to tomorrow night?" Next night you saying, "Hey, man, got some work
man.
stuff. Got to move it again." I'm like, you know what? We've gone strong for several months straight. Let's take a night off or a week off this week. But glad to be back talking about Tennessee sports, and we got some big things to talk about tonight. But man, family's doing good. Everything really is going fantastic. How about yourself, Skylar?
Man, I can't complain. Big news that happened to us over the last week is we went to Neyland in the spring, and it wasn't the spring game. It was the Luke Combs concert. So got to go check that out. Any excuse to get me in Neyland. My wife definitely tricked me because she got me. It was a concert, but I was like, you know what? I said yes because you told me it was in Neyland, and she got me there. But, payback's coming. It's fine. No, we had a great time, but, yeah, man. It's crazy. We blinked, and now we're at the, SEC tournament for softball. So we're going to break that down, talk about how the Lady Vols finished the season. Honestly, I think they finished strong. I think we can say that. And we'll break that down. Baseball has 2 weeks left. We'll break that down. We got the guy. We'll break that down. There's a lot to talk about. Even in football, man, we missed the draft. Obviously, last week we didn't go live, but we'll kind of touch up on how many Vols got drafted. So, no, man, I'm excited to talk ball tonight. And before I do that, I want to let everybody know who puts us on tonight, and that is P&L Business Services. We know firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, if y'all feel like this is something that you are missing in your company, or you just want to alleviate that stress so that you can continue to focus on what really matters, then just go online to pnlbusinessservices.com and allow the fine folks out of Oak Ridge to give you a hand. Thank you so much for your continued support. Michael, where do we want to start, dude?
Well, let's just start with the biggest news of all. Skylar pretty much gave the rundown.
My bad. I definitely went out of line there. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Hey, sometimes we got to swap things up.
That's right.
Got to keep it interesting. But let's just start with the biggest news. But before we do all that, I do want to give you our segment one sponsor, which is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. Contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. So, biggest news from this past week, really the last couple of weeks. We got Juke Harris.
Yes, sir.
And I will say this isn't too much of a shock for me because I kind of figured coming into it, one of two things is going to happen. Either Nate Amin is coming back to Knoxville for another season, and I was really, really kind of hoping that was the case. You didn't have as much hope as I did that would happen, but it was definitely a 50-50 decision, like all the way down to the wire. So I kind of figured either he was coming back or we were going to get Juke Harris, one of the two. I did not expect both to happen. Obviously, it didn't. Nate Amin declared for the draft, but Juke Harris did officially, as of yesterday, commit to the Vols. So he is a Vol, and man, what does that do for Tennessee's program going into next season, Skylar, in your opinion?
I think what it does is puts a lot of pressure, in my opinion, it puts a lot of pressure on this team, A, with expectations now even skyrocketing further, but B, to also understand and make sure that this team finds a way to gel over this offseason, because it doesn't matter how many stars that you can put on a team. What matters is how well they play as a team, because what I can see happening with this team is that there's just not enough points for them, to go around. I mean, everybody's going to want to try to get that 20-point game or something like that, but it's very important that they find a way to not play selfish, which they're playing for Rick Barnes. I don't see that being an issue. I'm just saying that, like, if we struggle early in the year, I think that's why. Is just trying to figure out how to mesh. But overall, one thing I'm very confident in this roster is I truly believe that this is the best roster Rick Barnes has ever put together.
100%, because what I was going to say is, you definitely hit the nail on the head as far as this team just has to gel together.
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest question mark out of everything, because a lot of people would say, well, is the defense going to be there? Because Rick Barnes, he's a defensive-minded head coach. The defense will be good enough. They've all the players that were signed, they've got the offense. And Rick Barnes is going to teach them defense over the offseason. And some of them are still really good defenders anyway. So, yes, the gelling is going to be the biggest question mark. But the adding of Juke Harris, that takes this team from a Elite 8 ceiling, talent-wise, to a Final Four possibility just by adding him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where this team is at after adding him, because of the talent that this roster has.
No, without a doubt. I mean, so let's just go through the signed. Let's do that real quick.
Yeah.
So Juke Harris, obviously star of the show, was like one of the highest rated remaining, transfer portal players available. So being able to lock him down, he averaged over 20 points a game last season with Wake Forest. The other transfers you get, notable transfers, is Terrence Hill Jr., which we've talked about, who was a four-star. Yeah. Jalen Harrelson, I think, is the next big guy, and that's a center. He is from Notre Dame, and he was a 5-star, pretty much consensus out of the portal. Miles Rubin, is he a power forward? Is that what that?
He's a power forward.
That is.
Harrelson was a combo guard, so having him, he's probably going to play more of a guard, and Juke Harris is going to be playing more of that 3, like
combo
what Nate Amin was
so he can play
playing.
either one. That's what that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got Day Ames.
That's your guy, dude. That's your ball handler, right? I mean, the offense is going to run through him, right? I mean, he's getting the ball every possession, and he's going to, identify where the plays are going to be made, and he's going to have to be smart with the ball. No turnovers whatsoever. He's from Cal. He's a very highly rated 4-star on 24/7. And then Tyler Lundblade, I think, is just your shooter. I think that guy, he's just so accurate with the shot, especially from deep, that he may not be the highest rated guy out of the portal, which, I mean, even then he's still a 4-star out of the portal. I think he's kind of like your wild card player out of the portal that can really, I mean, he's one of those guys that could probably legitimately get you a 25-plus point game out of nowhere. And I think he is definitely a guy that's still going to give you 10 to 15 on any given night, but he'll probably be coming off the bench, in my opinion. Maybe not, but just the team that you put together. I mean, we haven't even talked about the signees that Rick Barnes has signed out of high school, but you get 2, shooting forwards or is it small forward, shoot forward? I don't know
small
small
forward.
forward. Ralph Scott, Manny Green, both of those guys, top 100 players out of high school. So I mean, it's not like Rick Barnes only did the transfer portal thing. Like he still went out and got guys from high school. I'm excited about what this team's going to be.
Yeah,
but it really does.
Let's not forget about the other small forward that he just got over the last month, Chris Washington Jr. from Providence Christian, just down the road in Murfreesboro. That was a huge pickup, and he I forget the guy's name, but we actually hosted a 7'1" center this past week on campus. So Rick Barnes might not be done yet.
Well, and I think he's told people. I think he's told people he's not done. I think genuinely he was actually trying to get another commit, maybe even before Jucaris committed. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that statement. But you're right. Christopher Washington Jr. is the highest rated small forward that actually be picked up in the portal, and yeah, he's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. That's awesome.
Yeah, and he did also get Braden Liu, small forward. He plays more of a power forward out of Kennesaw State as well. That's right. So, I mean, you got 7 transfers. You've got 4 signees from high school to give you 11, and then you've got Troy Henderson as well as Dwayne Brown already on the team. That's 13.
Dwayne Brown, man, I love that we were able to keep him.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And then, of course, you might end up getting 1 or 2 more. I mean, you've got a full roster next year, and you've got all the talent in the world. You
already got the second-ranked portal class in the nation.
Yep.
You are overall the 4th-ranked recruiting class when you combine both. So you're top 5 in that department. You're top 2 in the. I mean, this is exactly what I said when we were kind of worried. I wasn't worried, but when we were both kind of worried about the departures of all the players from the men's team, and people were wanting to compare the men's to the women's and saying, hey, everybody's hard on Kim. Why is nobody talking about Rick? This is exactly why nobody was talking about Rick. Because I truly believe, and now that we're seeing it come to light, I think Rick was actually encouraging these players to go play somewhere else. Go get your money. 2, Rick was changing identities. I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about that week. So he's done the work. He's put the work in. He's obviously not done yet. But I think it is crucial as soon as these fellas get on campus, because right now they're still not even on campus, but as soon as they do, I don't even care if they go hit the gym day one, which obviously they're going to do that. I want to see how they get together off the campus. Go hang out. Go be friends. Go be brothers. Go build those relationships up. And that way, when it comes game time, nobody's playing selfish, and everybody wants to see everybody succeed. And I know Rick Barnes is going to instill that identity and that locker room, that feel, that culture, right? But that is going to be my biggest concern, because right now it's definitely not making buckets. We've got plenty of that. So we just need to make sure we have that culture set.
Yep, but Rick Barnes going 7 for 7 on targets out of the transfer portal. Obviously, there was a couple of other players that
it's impressive.
They did go and kind of look at, but the ones that they wanted to go out and get, they got. And you know what's the best part about all of this? It's the fact that Big Blue Nation is absolutely
have they even gotten a recruit
throwing a fit right now because Tennessee is having this much success out of the portal, and they're like, "What is Mark?"
They can't even sign somebody overseas. Like they're looking at JV teams at this point. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, Kentucky fans are
nothing hurts worse.
Wit's end.
Nothing I think is more embarrassing or may hurt worse for the Kentucky fan base than seeing Calipari go in and get a recruit that Kentucky was after. And just basically winning. I mean, that's got to be more of a gut-wrenching punch to just absolute face than Tennessee having success. Because it's not even like Kentucky's not even in these battles. They're not good enough in the recruiting to be even in. Like, it's not like we're battling Kentucky for Jucaris. You know what I mean? We were battling Michigan or whoever we were.
Yeah, we were battling Michigan. North Carolina was in there for a little bit.
It's crazy that we won that battle, and everybody's going to say, yeah, money this, whatever. But, like, to still beat out a top-rated recruit against the defending national champions,
that's huge.
That is crazy, man. So, hats off to not just Rick Barnes, but all the coaching staff around him, the team that he's been able to put together. Really excited. Not about the season coming up, because I am willing to wait. I'm ready for football season, but I I think it will be a fun one come next winter.
Yeah, I agree. So kind of switching gears just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about women's basketball briefly. Not any just, huge news there, but we've got a roster, man.
Oh yeah.
We started off with 0 players. 0 whenever all this transfer portal mess started. And we're up to 13 players now. The rock that has been there the entire time, Gabby Minus, the recruit out of high school. And then from there, it's just evolved. You got Avery Mills, Naomi White, Harper Peterson, Zen Kraft, Riley Therakoff, Irene, don't know how to say her last name yet. Not going to attempt that one either. But you've got 13 players on the roster. And they're all say again?
I'm hearing 15.
It could be. So this was as of earlier that I found this. It shows 13. It could be 15 now. And I just don't have the updated roster.
Let me see. I got you. All right. So obviously zero returners.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as this ad will disappear, because I'm not paying for this subscription on this article. All right, there we go. Avery Mills from Liberty. We got Naomi White from Northern Arizona. You mentioned that. We've got Harper Peterson
from Stanford.
Yep. Zen Kraft and Riley Therakoff from Georgia. We've got Harrison.
That's from Texas A&M, correct?
Auburn. And I don't know that last name.
Yeah, I haven't studied up on it yet.
Kulably, maybe? I don't know. That's really botching it, but I mean, she averaged 10.4 points, 3 rebounds, and almost 2 assists per game. A guard. Fatmata?
Something
Texas
like that.
A&M?
So that's the one for Texas A&M, and then the Irene, that's the one that.
Where is that? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she's the one that came from.
Yes, freshman.
Was it like Rutgers or something? Or no, she's a freshman.
She's a freshman.
She's the one from overseas.
Yep.
That's who she is.
Gabby Minus, 6 foot. She's also a freshman. We got Riley. So Riley Makalewski. That's probably wrong as well. Wow, these names are wild. I love this. West Virginia. Kennedy Fauntleroy. East Carolina. Aaliyah Moore. Hallelujah. It's I can pronounce it. Texas. Aaliyah Moore is a big. I think that's. Obviously she did not play. Pickup. She did not play last year. But this is a 6-year. Like somebody you're talking about leadership. Taking that leadership role, being that senior, that super senior, I guess, on the team. In 2024, 2025, she averaged only 8 points, but she was a rebounding machine, almost averaging 5 rebounds a game. So that's going to be necessary. Jada Eads from Seton Hall, again, averaged double-digit points per game, and then 5 rebounds as well, and 4 assists. And then Shailene Steele from Penn State, a junior. Not crazy on the stats, but I think this is somebody that you're picking up to hopefully coach up. Didn't really get a shot at Penn State, so she's coming here. Obviously, you're trying to fill a roster. They seen something in her that obviously she's not had the opportunity to showcase yet, and maybe they can get that out of her. And then Kayleen
Smixel, maybe?
Smickle? I'm joking. Maryland. She averaged 13 points per game, 4 rebounds. I'm telling you, man, I'm seeing here 15. We've got a full roster, man.
Yeah.
15 ladies, and I am going to have to do a lot of homework and figure out how to pronounce these ladies' names because I do not want to disrespect them in any way. But I appreciate their commitment.
I'm telling you, man,
signing up and being
as soon as they get put on the Tennessee Athletics website,
because
I'm going in and I'm hitting
you can listen to it, right,
button.
Dude?
Yes, you
but
can
they're
listen
not
to
on
the
there
pronunciation.
Yet. And technically they're not even on campus right now. So, but they are officially signed according to what I'm reading right here. That is 15 signees. So, I'm excited about this.
I'm getting excited about women's basketball as well. Obviously we're both ready for football football season, but I'm excited about women's basketball as well, not just because of the signees, but did you hear any of Coach Caldwell's comments from the Big Orange Caravan that went on over the last couple of weeks?
No. Well,
So
I've heard some, but I did not watch it. So I'm getting like kind of tidbits of it. But go ahead, tell me what you.
yeah, I'm also getting kind of the same, just little tidbits of it. But one of the things I heard her say was that she admitted to kind of going out and trying to hit a home run last season, and she just swung and missed because she was going after stars. She was going after the most talent and not necessarily the people that fit her roster or fit her skill set of a coach, kind of the system that she wants to run. And we kind of talked about that some during the season.
That's where
it didn't feel like
that's where the
gelled
entitlement
in
led
that
into.
system.
That's really where I feel like the entitlement of the team and the quit in the team all stems from that exact thing. So I love that she was able to reflect, see what was the issue, and then correct it. You know what I just realized?
What's that?
I was going through, of what I could see, we have 8 signees coming in that averaged over 10 points a game.
Yeah. I mean, that's between,
one averaging 20 points a game, by the way.
Between what the men did and what the women did, there's a lot of points.
Naomi White,
last
Northern
season
Arizona, averaged nearly 21 points per game and 5.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of the things that Coach Caldwell said was, going into this season trying to recruit players, she would obviously they're doing their homework as far as the scouting and all that. But one of the questions that she would ask each of these players is, do you see yourself succeeding in this system? And basically, if it was a no, she would pass on them. But if it was a yes, then yeah, things are going to get rolling at that point.
I genuinely kind of hope that we get back to that like hockey style of like every minute we're just balls to the wall, but we're subbing in and out. Like I feel like that's when we were at our best, and that kind of helped. Even if we were at which we won't be at a disadvantage much longer. I truly feel like that. But like, stars wise, it kind of helped even the playing field because you just wear that team down so much conditionally that you just end up prevailing. And and so I love that style of basketball. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, she said, year one they overachieved, and they did. They overachieved in her first year. She went and she took a swing, and she just missed last season trying to go for the home run. But I truly think this year is going to be a much different year. It's going to be a good season for Lady Vols basketball. I feel like it's going to be a good season for the men's basketball. Kind of switching gears once again, talking about football now. We don't have a lot to talk about. We got a few things. First off, NFL draft. Tennessee had 5 players that were drafted this past season. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, I thought it'd been
nobody in
more.
The first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that we were going to have one, but all Tennessee players fell out of the first round. Colton Hood was the highest rated draft pick this year. He was taken very early. That did not surprise me either.
Yeah,
but he was taken very early in the second round by the Giants.
Yep, I did think Jamal McCoy was going to fall below Colton Hood. Did not expect him to fall to the 3rd round. So I hope that he's because of that. Because, typically if you're in the first round, especially if you're like higher up in the first round, you're going to a team that's mid to terrible, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping, where did he end up? The Raiders?
Yeah, the Raiders.
I mean, that's not a great team. But they are a very young team, and so I think they will be good in like a couple of years. But I'm hoping that he has the chance and the opportunity, one, stay healthy, but then two, kind of prove the doubters wrong here with that knee situation. Because obviously, from what I was hearing during that whole process, is like there is no surgery needed right now. They were just saying the trainers are suspecting that they would probably recommend a preventative surgery now for something that may happen later, but that's, it's just unknown. So, no, I think I'm excited to see where he goes, and I'm glad he got a shot. I do think it cost him a lot of money to not at least suit up for a game his senior year, but at the end of the day, he had to do what was best for him, and I truly don't think he was 100% to be able to do that. So, probably a smart move on his end.
Yep, completely agree. So the draft picks, I already mentioned Colton Hood, 2nd round of the Giants. Chris Brazzell, 3rd round to the Carolina Panthers.
Huge.
Jamad McCoy, 4th round to the Las Vegas Raiders. Joshua Josephs, the 5th round to the Washington Commanders. And Tyree West, 7th round pick to the Detroit Lions. So those are the 5 draft picks that Tennessee had in the 2026 class. We did also have some undrafted free agents, which most years we do. And there was 7 of them, as William Wright, former walk-on, signed with the Denver Broncos. Bryson Eason signed with the San Francisco 49ers. I really, really like that spot for Bryson Eason. I feel like that he can make a name for himself during training camp and all that, and he can make that 56-man, 52-man, whatever number it is roster in the NFL. I like that spot for Bryson Eason. Dominic Bailey to the Houston Texans. Jalen McMurray with the Tennessee Titans. Joey Aguilar signs with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Miles Kitselman with the Detroit Lions. And Jackson Moy with the Los Angeles Rams. So lots of Tennessee names that are with NFL rosters now. Not all of them will have places come this fall. Some of them will be on practice squads, things like that. Some of them might be released, but that makes 12 players overall that did end up signing with a NFL team.
I do like our signees. I think they have a legit a chance to make the team. I mean, I mean those guys that you named off. I think 2 or 3 have a legitimate shot to make the 50. Is it 56, 53 man roster?
I think it's 53. And
whatever that number is, but I think I truly believe like Jackson Moy. I think's one for sure.
Jackson Moy, I think Bryson Eason is another.
Yeah, your interior guys, like defensive line, just because of that position, I think they have a chance.
I would say Miles Kitselman would be the other one. I think that he can as well. He didn't really pan out at Tennessee, but he's kind of that NFL-style tight end.
Yeah. He had a few games where he popped off. And one that comes to mind is his first year here. He just took over the Kentucky game. I mean, just absolutely ran crazy on him. But there, just here and there, he had games. I do feel like his senior year, he dropped off tremendously. But not obviously he was battling some injury there. But overall, I think you're right. I think he is more of an NFL style body. And as long as he gets in a system that they can utilize him to the best. I mean, he's kind of a great blocker, and he's got some speed that's kind of hidden. His acceleration is maybe not the greatest, but once he gets up to speed in a route, I mean, that guy's pretty fast. So, I'm interested to see if he can make the team as well.
Yep. Only other thing I have on Tennessee football is it was announced some of the events that are going to be going on for Tennessee football this fall. As September the 19th against Kennesaw State, that will be Tennessee's Salute to Service game. I don't know if with Adidas they're going to do like the gray alternate uniform things like what Nike did. But if you do see a gray uniform this fall, I would say this one might be one of the best chances for that.
I think they'll still do that because if you recall,
I assume that they will.
They did a smoky gray with Adidas. It looked Oregon. It looked Oregon-ish. I don't know like what material they made it out of, but like I don't know. It had like a weird scheme on it. But I think it was like Jalen Hurts' first year where he really had a great year. They wore that Adidas smoky gray look with the white helmets.
Yeah, I just know that Nike kind of had that thing where it was like each year over the last couple of years.
I love that deal. Nike, it was kind of cool.
They had like the different rollouts of uniforms. So I'm curious to see if Adidas is going to do something like that. I'm assuming that they'll probably have a gray uniform, but I would say this would probably be the best chance you see that uniform in this game.
There you go.
Checker Neyland will be the following weekend against Texas.
Ooh.
Champions weekend will be on October the 3rd against Auburn. And then homecoming will be on November the 7th against Kentucky. So you probably will not have dark mode against Kentucky this year.
When's the last time we've done homecoming on an SEC game? Because typically that's always
Mississippi State a couple years ago.
Okay.
Mississippi State 2 years ago we did.
I was like, I feel like that's always the non-conference, or maybe that's senior day. I don't know, depending on how that works out. But I thought it was always the non-conference opponent you play late in the season, which is now gone. So,
yeah, I would say So just looking at the schedule for next season, obviously Furman is not going to be dark mode. That's first game of the season. Kennesaw State salute to service. Checker Neyland. Champions weekend against Auburn. Orange out is probably going to be the third Saturday in October against Alabama.
Oh, Kentucky's going to be the dark mode.
You think even with it being homecoming, they'll go dark mode?
Nah, without a doubt. It's
Or is
Kentucky, man. It's almost
Or
like
is it going to be LSU on November 21st?
it could be that game too. Especially with Lane Kiffin coming in town. That could absolutely be dark mode.
Yeah, I would say it's probably either going to be Kentucky or LSU. It could be Auburn on that Champions weekend. Those would be the three games because they're not going to do it for Alabama. That'll be Orange out. I can almost guarantee it.
I don't foresee Auburn being a night game though. So I don't know if they're going to try to do dark mode for a game that's not already, because they typically try to do it for a night game or an evening game that's going to be night.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I like it though. We already get some dates. It's getting close.
Yep, that's exactly right. Here in the next couple of weeks is going to be counting down 100 days to college football. So
that's right.
It's getting closer, man. But you got anything else on any sports not named softball or baseball before we move ahead?
I do not. I want to congratulate. I don't know if we did this last time. The Lady Vols golf team. I think we did this last time.
Yeah,
they won the SEC. And then I was thinking there was another sport kind of like off. I don't know. It's not ringing a bell for me right now, but no, just great stuff happening. It is confirmed entertainment districts happening. So G10 parking garage in July is getting, part of it is getting demoed. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be fun.
Absolutely, man. So let's move ahead to our segment 2. We're going to talk about some Tennessee softball, but before we do that, I will give you our segment 2 sponsor, which is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So, Tennessee softball. And before we actually get into the SEC tournament, I do want to give a huge shout out to Carlin Pickens, who last night was taken number 1 overall in the AUSL softball draft.
And the way she's been pitching lately, she deserves it. But I'm telling you, there was a point in the middle of the season, I'm like, she ain't looking too hot. But, man, did she lock in the last couple outings that she's had. And I think that kind of helped finalize the deal for her being number 1. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to look at the longevity of it, too.
I know.
Her dominance over the last 4 seasons in college softball is just unbelievable. So, rightfully so, she was taken number 1 overall to the Carolina Blaze.
Her home state?
Yeah, so just fantastic. Oh, and kind of a, way off type of deal. I do want to congratulate a former Lady Vol softball player and actually a former men's basketball player, Grant Williams and Kiki Malloy. I saw last week actually got engaged.
Oh, nice!
So a shout out to the two of them for getting engaged. Didn't even know that they were dating, but it came across one of my feeds. I think it was on Facebook where they had gotten engaged.
So a shout out to them. Power couples. It's beautiful.
Yep, and both of them playing ball at the next level too. So.
Oh yeah. No, that's pretty cool, man. I didn't know that. So good stuff.
Yeah. So Tennessee softball. Obviously, the SEC tournament has started.
It's already confirmed. Ole Miss gets the win over South Carolina, and that is who we are facing in round 2 of the SEC tournament. It has started, but we play tomorrow. Is that 5 Eastern with it being game?
That is at 5 Eastern.
Yeah.
That's going to be on SEC Network. And if Tennessee wins, they would play again at 5 Eastern on Thursday against Texas.
Which, you being the 5 seed, technically you're getting the best, of the round of 8. But man, Texas is a tough draw to be a 4 seed. But, I think you actually tied with them, but maybe due to some tiebreakers is why you're the 5 seed versus the 4.
Let me just say this, though.
I think that's go ahead.
Tennessee absolutely choked away an opportunity to have that 4 seed.
1,000%, because they shouldn't have lost game 3 against Missouri.
They absolutely should not have. I mean, I don't want to call anybody out, but that play in the 6th inning where it was a hit on the right side, and Gabby Leach was coming up and ended up missing the ball, allowing 2 runs to score instead of if she would just gotten in front of it, threw it back to the infield, only 1 would have scored, and Tennessee ended up not scoring in the 7th. So you win that game and you outright get 4th place there, and you're in the driver's seat of the quarterfinals.
And in a league that is so tight in the middle of the pack, literally the exact same thing we're going to talk about the men's. I mean, I cannot believe when we talk about the men's that the Tennessee Vols are like 13th in the conference, but they're only like 2 games back from being top 5. So it's just crazy how competitive and elite these teams are. But yes, I mean, Tennessee's got some business to take care of against Ole Miss. They are without a doubt a better team. They need to go prove it, and they need to put up a fight against Texas. I believe that we need to play to win this tournament. I'm not of the opinion like I was in basketball where I'm like, hey, I'm okay taking a loss here so that we go into the tournament with our heads, like on fire because we want that revenge. No, I'm at this point now where we need to prove that we are a top 8 seed in the tournament, because for seeding purposes, for hosting purposes, it's really, really important. And I think Tennessee right now is sitting like right on that 8 line. So they need to go out here and try to win this tournament. I think they need it more than almost any other team as far as like on the bubble of like what actually matters versus what doesn't. Because obviously there's other teams that are on the bubble of like being in the tournament in general. They obviously got to win. But for Tennessee, a win or 2 wins in this tournament could mean that they are a top 8 seed. I just think that's huge for the Lady Vols.
Yeah, you've got to go out. You've got to beat Ole Miss tomorrow.
Without a doubt.
You need to beat Texas on Thursday.
That's the one that moves the needle. I mean, Ole Miss doesn't really move the needle. Everybody's going to chalk that up like you're supposed to, right? So,
and then you got to go out and you got to give more than likely Oklahoma. You've got to give them a game, and you really ought to win that game.
And prove why both of those teams need to be in Oklahoma City. Seriously.
Yes, 100%. And I think that this team will do that. I mean, I think that they will do what they need to do to try to prove themselves. This is still a team, in my opinion, that they can go out and they can win 2 out of 3 against anybody. I don't see any team in the country, Oklahoma, UCLA, Texas Tech, any of these teams. I don't see any team that can go out there and just be that much better than Tennessee, and it's far and away they're going to take 2 games from Tennessee. I think Tennessee can absolutely win 2 out of 3 against any team in the country, and they need to prove that starting in this SEC tournament.
My only concern is if our pitching's not on point, our offense is not good enough to combat it. So we got to have our A games from all 3 of our pitchers. Without that, we are truly not a top 5 team. I mean, it really does take a team effort from the pitching and the offense to just scratch enough runs, which I will say they have been better this year, but overall still not really the home run hitting or hard hitting team that you'd like to have and make a deep run. But I think it really is just going to depend on how we've seen it, especially in the middle of the year. Carlin Pickens get roughed up. Sage Marjetko has been awesome coming in relief, but what if they both have? We've seen Sage Marjetko kind of struggle at times too, but then Carlin Pickens pick her. So it's great how resilient that room is and how well they pick each other up. They're gonna have to do that this week without a doubt, and for the remainder of the season.
And that's the thing about this pitching staff that you mentioned. They do pick each other up. I mean, you look at the Alabama.
The only game
series.
they didn't was the very first game against Alabama.
Right.
They were terrible.
Right. It was bad, but I think they truly took that game and they said, we can't let this happen again.
That's right.
And then the other 2 games in the series, they balled out. I mean, Sage Marjetko was, a base hit away from having a no-hitter, her second of her career at Tennessee. Then in game 3, you had Aaron Newer go out there and put up a 0 spot through 3 innings. Carlton Pickens came in and just slammed the door for the rest of the game. That's right. So it was a fantastic series, and I truly think that especially Pickens and Marjetko, they're playing at their absolute best right now. And Aaron Newer's not playing bad. Is she getting roughed up a little bit more than the other two? Yes. But she's still not going out there and just giving up hit after hit, run after run, like we've seen some pitchers in the past at Tennessee. So
that's right.
I truly think that Tennessee is starting to play some of their best ball, which is hard to say considering how they started the season. But I think they're really starting to play some of their best ball right now, and I think that they truly can make a deep run in this postseason.
Right on. Lady Vols, Ole Miss tomorrow, 5 Eastern. Winner advances to play Texas on Thursday. So it is tournament time. Let's get it. I guess with that being said, are we doing segment 3 and then the baseball team?
Segment 3.
2. Segment 2 and then the.
Well, this is yeah.
No, it is segment 3. My bad. Lockheed and Tarpley.
Segment 3 talking about baseball.
Right on. Who's our segment 3 sponsor, Michael?
I don't know. Who is it, Skylar?
Dude,
I'm pretty sure you went out and got him.
I mean, he kind of came to us, dude, and that's why I'm so thankful. But I would like to introduce to you our new segment 3 sponsor, and that is Bowie's Heating and Air. LLC is a 24/7 full-service heating and air conditioning company, proudly serving the East Tennessee with reliable residential, commercial, and new construction applications. We provide comprehensive comfort solutions, including system repairs, preventative maintenance, and complete equipment installations. Our top mission is to provide reliable service, honest guidance, and lasting comfort while building lifelong relationships with every customer we serve. Contact us today at 865-360-0386. When your home feels off and the comfort's not there, do yourself a favor and call Bowie's Heating and Air. We appreciate Alex Bowie and the crew. Man, it's so awesome. He came up to me, he's like, I'm interested. And I'm like, dude, it's seriously like this is all it is. And when I told him, he was like, yeah, I'm all in. I want to support. And I was like, man, I appreciate that so much. Like, he was all, I didn't even have to really do the spill. He was just like bought in. He loves the show. And so we honestly, that's the type of people I want to do business with. So we appreciate him. If you guys ever need a touch up or just a maintenance repair, anything like that, be sure to reach out to Bowie. He's a young guy. He's been in the business though for I think maybe 4 or 5 years. He really knows his stuff and truly wants to just take care of his community. So thank you so much. Nuggets awesome, 83 says he called you out. Said, what's up, Michael?
Bo, what's going on, my man?
Yep. You know who he is, right?
I do. It's been a little bit, man.
Yeah? All right on. Well, I guess without further ado, let's talk about this baseball team, man. We got a little bit to unpack. Alabama series, we missed the recap on that. What a comeback that was. I think it was very cool to see how, like, identical the series was between the softball and the men's baseball. Like, literally, you lose game 1 in almost embarrassing fashion, and then you just come out in games 2 and 3 and just shut them out, and then also keep the offense sky high. That was awesome. What do you think?
Just a reminder to everybody, Dixieland Delight is a song about Tennessee. So.
It was written by Alabama, but it doesn't matter if the song is still about Tennessee, right? Like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter who sang it, who wrote it. Like, at the end of the day, what was the intent behind the song? And that is absolutely a Tennessee Saturday night. And
yeah. But no, it was a great series, and game 1, kind of like you said, it was very reminiscent of
the offense was still good in game 1. I'll give them credit.
Yeah,
pitching was bad.
Was awful. I mean,
you got roughed up. You're giving away like 7. No, it was like 15 free bases. Well, it was stupid. It was a crazy amount. We hit like 5.
It has been a long time since I have just turned off a Tennessee sporting event.
You had to. I can't. So we walked the bases loaded or something.
Yeah,
and then we like hit the next 2 bat, and I was like, dude, this is not real. Like, there's no way this is happening.
As soon as we hit our 5th batter of the night, I turned it off. And I
was
texted
bad.
you immediately.
It was
I
so
said,
bad.
I have not turned off a Tennessee sporting event in a long time, but I had to turn this one off.
It was so bad. I mean, let your defense work, man. Like, at the end of the day, just throw a strike. If they go yah-yah, they go yah-yah. But at the end of the day, they still got to earn that. But you walking batters left and right the way they did, and I ain't saying nothing they didn't already talk about. But, like, the fact that they were just standing up there watching pitches and being able to score 3 or 4 runs in an inning was, I mean, I was irate, dude. I mean, it's just baseball 101. Throw a strike, dude. Like, it's not that. I mean, it's hard. We've done it. It's not that hard. Like, it's one of those things where just throw the ball over the plate, play catch with your catcher. Take a little off your fastball, dude. If you can't hit mid-90s, throw a 92 mile an hour and hit the glove, dude. It's not that complicated, and we just weren't focused. And I think that punch in the mouth, man, is what locked these guys in. They came out firing the next 2 days, and we got, I think, some of our best performances those next 2 days.
Well, it was really just one day because they ended up doing
they did the double.
They did the double
That's
header.
right. The next 2 games.
Due to the weather coming in, and
That was bad news for Alabama because you caught Tennessee on a hot day.
Exactly. I mean, especially on the mound in game 1. I mean, Tegan Coons on the mound throwing a complete game shutout in 8 innings. You got the 10-0 run rule victory, and then game 2. Offense was still just rolling, and pitching was very good as well with Landon Mack on the mound. 11-4 victory in game 2. I mean, when you score 21 runs in 2 games, that's a fantastic day. And what a way to cap off the Alabama series by winning those 2 games the way that you did. Just unbelievable effort coming off of that disappointing game on Thursday.
Here's where the good news ends. You played Kentucky last weekend.
Do we have to talk about it?
We don't have to go in depth in the games. I was very frustrated with pitching, yes, but maybe Kentucky was just really hot. But giving up back,
I think it was a little bit of both.
I mean, Kentucky, even in the game they lost, still scored 8 runs in the final 3 innings to really get me nervous. And I was also a little mad because I did put $5 on Tennessee to win by 2 runs on Sunday, and they had to blow that. That pissed me off, but like we still won, so it is what it is. I'm not that mad because it's whatever. It's a gambling problem, but it was $5. It's whatever.
I do have the hotline number if you need it. So.
I know, man. I know. But, like, seriously, that was the only game I bet on all weekend. I'm like, yeah, Tennessee has to win game 3, right? Because I'm like, there's no way they get swept. And I'm like, and honestly, they're going to throttle them because they're going to have to try to send a message. And, like, they were on pace to do that. And, dude, whatever. I'm not talking about game 3. We got the win there. Games 1 and 2, just embarrassing. I mean, you can't perform like that, especially in a series where you needed the series win because of the next 2 opponents you're about to play.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to me is that
you got to get to 13.
Kentucky, they're not a bad team, but it's a team that even on the road you absolutely should go up there and you should win the series. And you didn't do that. And maybe it was Kentucky being hot from the plate and having good pitching, because in game 1 especially, they had some really good pitching going on. I mean, Tennessee, I don't think got a hit until the 4th inning, but you got to play better than that because you need, like you said, you need to get to at least 13 wins. And this was your opportunity to put yourself 1 game from that 13 spot. All I wanted was, win 2 games, you lose the 1, and you're sitting at, 12 and 12?
You would have been, I think, 500. If you'd have won the series, you'd have been 500.
Yeah, going into a very tough weekend against Texas. At that point, all you got to do is you got to get 1 out of your next 6 SEC games. And now you're staring at, you got to win 2 games against either number 4 Texas or an Oklahoma team that is still pretty good in the conference.
And I think they can scratch off, even if they lost both series, I think they can scratch away a win. I'd love for them to win a series and just lock it in. But
just go out and beat Texas this weekend, 2 games.
Exactly. They're not unbeatable. I don't want to speak like they're not. And with our offense being as hot as they are, other than the 2 games against Kentucky, I mean, anything's possible. Here's what frustrates me with the baseball team is I don't feel like they are good enough to to play consistently for maybe like 3 or 4 games in a row. So it does. I don't feel great about tournament play with this team, but I do think on any given day they have the talent to beat any team. With that being said, they are so inconsistent they could probably lose to any team. So I don't really know what to expect in the postseason. But what's important to me right now is the fact that we get to the postseason. So they're going to have to find a way to scratch and claw.
Here's the thing about Tennessee baseball this season. I feel like we need to play a team that has a number next to their name. So if anyone would have told me in February that LSU would be dead in the water and both Tennessee and Vandy would have their backs against the wall. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was going to the next comment.
No, you're good.
Yeah. And then this one, he said 13 isn't a lock with being swept by Vandy and losing to. I don't agree with that.
I mean, when you look at,
because I mean, you
the
literally won
overall
you won
record
the series
helps
with
Tennessee.
Alabama too, and they're a top 15 ranked team. You,
So
I
here's
don't
the
know.
thing.
Like I think you lost the series to LSU, which is not a good look. But like, there's other wins in this. I don't know.
Here's the thing. So when you compare Tennessee against some of the top teams in the conference versus the bottom teams in the conference, Georgia the first weekend you did lose 2 out of 3 games.
Yep.
Missouri, they're on the bottom end of the conference. You did win 2 out of 3 of those. Vanderbilt, you get swept by. That's in the bottom half of the conference. LSU, you lose 2 out of 3, bottom half of the conference. Mississippi State, you go out and sweep, and they're in the top half of the conference. Ole Miss, top half of the conference, you do lose 2 out of 3. Alabama, top half of the conference, you win 2 out of 3. Kentucky, bottom half of the conference, you lose 2 out of 3. So it gives me hope for this weekend against Texas that you go out and you win 2 out of 3 because they're in the top half. Tennessee tends to play better against some of the top teams in the conference. And it gives me a little bit of hope for Oklahoma too. But
Mississippi State was the team I was thinking of, but like Mississippi State sweeping them, I think cancels out getting swept by Vandy. Does that make sense?
it makes sense.
And I don't necessarily mean just because it's 3 wins versus 3 losses. I just think the caliber opponent Mississippi State is projected to be right now versus the middle of the pack opponent Vanderbilt is right now. I just feel like that you almost take that with a grain of salt and just look at the rest of the records. You know, like, okay, how do we play it doesn't look good. Like, this is not a great season by any means for Tennessee baseball, but I mean, you're just gonna have to scratch and claw. You're gonna have to do your best. I do agree with the fact that 14 or 15 only guarantees it. 13 maybe puts it in the hands of some voters, but I think 13's always gotten a team in the tournament. I'm not necessarily stressed if we can get to 13.
Well, here's the sad thing about
it would
Tennessee
suck
baseball.
that you would be 3 losing series in a row, though.
I mean, here's the sad thing about Tennessee baseball, though, is this past weekend before playing Kentucky, you had people talking about Tennessee, possibly being on the edge of a 1 or a 2 seed, possibly a regional host in the first round, based on how they did the rest of the season. All you had to do was go out and at least win 2 against Kentucky and then see what you can get against Texas and Oklahoma, and you might possibly be hosting. Now we're talking about Tennessee. They might be on the they might be missing the tournament. I
don't think they're missing the tournament.
I don't think they'll miss the tournament, but you might be looking at Tennessee as a 2 seed or a 3 seed.
They don't do RPI. What do they do? Or do they RPI?
I think it's RPI that they do.
Dude, Tennessee's
There's something similar to it.
Yeah, they're going to be fine. Issue with Texas, you likely won't beat the pitcher on Friday, Volantis.
Yeah.
I like that name. That's kind of cool. That's it sounds like he should have been a Vol. That dude is locked in and heating up. Is your Saturday and Sunday pitching good enough to beat them? Now, here's my problem.
I think our Saturday and Sunday pitching is good enough.
I think our rotation's great. The problem I have with saying my Saturday and Sunday pitching, who is going to be our Saturday? Josh Nylander keeps kind of changing it up, and I don't like that.
That's one of the things, or one of the reasons I think Tennessee played as poorly as they did against Kentucky as far as our pitching. You had a rotation that was working.
In the last 3 weeks.
You had a rotation that was working, and then you go into Kentucky and you change it. And I knew going into the weekend, as soon as I saw they had changed it, I was like, this could end up being bad. And sure enough, it was. I mean,
I agree.
Let's look at the series real quick. I'm getting it pulled up now. So Tennessee in game 1 against Kentucky, they started Tegan Coons.
You ain't gotta go through all that. You ain't gotta.
No, I'm not going through the stats. I'm just looking at who was pitching.
Ugh.
Who was pitching? So game 1,
Everybody.
Tegan Coons. This guy has been your Saturday guy for the last several weeks, and it's been working. You don't change it at that point. Game 2 is whenever he went in and started. That was Evan Blanco. That's been your Friday guy. Friday has been the one spot where Tennessee has been struggling a little bit. I'd be fine almost trying.
Evan Blanco's been your Sunday starter, like the entire.
That's right.
year.
Evan Blanco has been your.
Yeah.
It's been Landon Mack starting
Landon Max,
on Friday nights.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Evan Blanco, that's been your Sunday guy, and he's been pitching well all season long. I mean, until Kentucky this past weekend, he hasn't given up more than 3 runs in an appearance since the Vandy series.
Yep.
So, of course, Sunday, that's whenever you go in and you start Landon Mack. And I would almost at this point be willing to swap and start Brandon Arvidsson instead of Landon Mack.
Brandon Arvidsson should have been a starter since the beginning of the season.
If you're going to change anything, do that.
But I think Landon Mack's another one of those long relief pitchers. Maybe, who's the long reliever that's been really well this year?
Cam Appenzeller.
Thank you. Cam Appenzeller type player. If you can have multiple of those guys, I mean, Brandon Arvidsson, we haven't even really seen that much of this year, in my opinion. So, I agree. But it is what it is. I agree with Rhonda. You had a thing going. You don't change it up. To me, it shows that you don't trust. You don't believe in the guys if you're trying to swap out or trade up. Or maybe he was just trying to get a pitching matchup, if you will, for like a pitcher's duel because he was trying to change some things based on what Kentucky was going to do. I don't know. I think you just got to play your game. No matter the opponent, you can't look about, you can't worry about what jersey's on the other side of the plate. I think you got to go in there and play your game and let the ball fall where it lies. I don't know. That's just my true feeling. I never went into a game throughout my high school or very short collegiate career where it's like the other team affected how we were going into a game. Mm-hmm. Like we still warmed up the same. We still warmed up the same. Everything. Our bullpens were the exact same. Exactly. Yes. There was absolutely. I could care less what the name of the team even was. I never even cared about their standings. At the end of the day, we're going to go out there and play our best ball, or at least try to, and whatever happens, happens. So I would hope that our coaching staff's not looking too far into like who we're playing and how we have to play that individual team. Rather, focus on us and the things that we can control and move on from there.
Yeah, because ultimately, if you're going in and you're letting the opponent decide what you're going to do, or you're going to make decisions because of that, they've already beat you. And that's what happened against Kentucky. Because we've talked numerous times, just like you just said, you have the same routine every single time. But when you change routine, that's when bad things start happening. I mean, but ultimately, if you're going to make a change, we've already mentioned it, I feel like you start Brandon Arvidsson. And you bring in Landon Mack because he could be one of those guys. You remember A.J. Causey from the 24 team that ended up winning the national title. He was not good as a starter. You started Chris Stamos at the beginning of the game. Let him go just 1 inning. Let him go 1 batter. Let him go 3 innings. And then let A.J. Causey come in, and he could take you for the next 5 to 6 innings. And then maybe you bring in a closer if need be. Maybe that's Landon Mack. Maybe you let Arvidsson start the game. Let him go as far as he can before you bring in Landon Mack. I feel like that should be a change that you maybe try at this point instead of just changing the rotation.
Either way, I love what I'm seeing from the offense. I do feel like they're taking better at bats. Went a little cold, obviously, in the Kentucky series, but they came back around, showed me what they're made of, and hopefully that'll be, in the last, I would say like a 7 to 8 game sample size, they've scored probably 7 or more runs in 6 of those games. So I'm pretty happy with where the offense is at. And hopefully we just play our best ball here as we close.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Garrett Wright's been hot from the plate lately. Trent Grindlinger, he cooled
What
off
was his
a little
longest
bit in
streak?
the-
I know he was 7 for 7 at one point. Garrett Wright was over like a 2-3 game stretch. Do you know how far he actually went before he didn't get a hit?
I do not for sure.
Okay, that's fine. He was hot last weekend against Alabama. So
Yeah, but Garrett Wright, 3 for 5, at least in the Sunday game against Kentucky. He's been hot. Trent Grindlinger has been hot. He didn't have the best game on the Sunday game against Kentucky. Levi Clark heated up against Kentucky in Game 3 and a double in that game. But he's still on and off a little bit. Manny Marion still kind of
added
on and
another
off.
home run tonight, by the way. Levi Clark did.
Blaine Brown is finally starting to come around a little bit. He still has some games where he struggles, but his bat's finally starting to heat up a little bit as well. So if we can get all of these bats together to heat up, then Tennessee could make a run in postseason play. But you got to get everything going at once. You got to get the pitching there. The defense has honestly been the best thing about this team all season. And that's one thing that I will say about this version of Tennessee baseball under new head coach is that the defense has been solid. We weren't always saying that under
One of
Tony
the best
Vitelli.
defending teams in the nation.
Yeah, we weren't
don't
always
commit
saying
errors.
that.
Yeah, we don't commit errors. But I think you have to be playing good defense when you've got the middle infield that you have. I mean, you've got two of the best shortstops in the league between Manny Marin and Ariel Antigua.
Yep.
Come on. I mean, those guys don't miss. So no, not a surprise for me. But overall, man, the Vols have some work cut out for them. They got to find a way to win. If we're gonna play the safe numbers, they got to find a way to go 500 the last 2 weeks. They got to find a way to win 3 and lose 3, and anything better than that is icing on the cake. And we can go play ball in the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Which
And then,
I'm still a believer we could win 2 and then maybe try to win a couple games in the SEC tournament. I truly believe that's okay, but I digress.
yeah, I mean, we'd rather go ahead and get most of the work done before the tournament, before the SEC tournament. But 3 seed at Georgia Tech.
You want to know why that is? You want to know why that is? Because after the first 2 seeds, they then go to the region. Like, they changed the freaking rule now to where they seed out and legitimately place the top 2 seeds in each region now, or something like that. I could be messing that up. But I think the 3 and 4 seeds is like strictly based on the region. So if we're at Georgia Tech, that's 100% because that's like the closest host site to us. So yeah, that's not a good draw at all.
Give me Tennessee going to Coastal over going to Georgia Tech.
Right. So, no, okay. Vandy says Oklahoma series, they got a kid really hot. Caden McDonald went 4 for 5. I'm actually okay that he was that hot against Cags. Hopefully that means he cools the heck down. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but the baseball team has its work cut out. We'll keep it all right here at 100 with you next week when we talk about it and hopefully talk about a Lady Vols successful tournament run. So, Michael, you got anything in closing tonight?
I do.
We
not,
talked
man.
a lot tonight. We fit it in a short time zone.
We did, and that's not like us. We normally like to
Draw
talk
it out.
stretch things out, but no,
Look.
we got it all in just barely over.
We got through
an
the
hour.
basketball, men's and women's, kind of an update, like what the roster's going to look like. We talked about Juke Harris, obviously, in that situation. Then we talked about football, the draft. Obviously, we're a little late to that news, but we ran through it. And then, updates on the baseball and softball team. And, yeah, man, it's been a fun show. And we'll be back to do it again next week.
That's right. I do have one more question for you before
Yeah, what's
we
up?
close off. So, kind of talking about basketball, do you feel like there's going to be much else going on either side as far as pickups? Obviously, Rick Barnes is still trying to find at least one more piece, but do you think beyond that he does much more?
I think he's probably going to get 1 or 2 more people. So he still has 3 spots, I think, on the team. Like 3 scholarship spots, maybe.
I think it might be at 2 now.
It might be
since he's
2
got
now with
13
Juke Harris. Yeah, it might be Juke. Yeah, Juke might have made it down to 2. I think he's
I
still
think
going to
it's
go.
15 scholarship spots.
I think
that you
he's
have.
still going to go get 1 more. I think just to prove that he wasn't like Juke Harris was it type mentality. And I think he was already working on somebody before Juke. So I do think he is going to add one more. I don't know if he's going to fill the roster, though. I think he's going to keep one spot open just for whatever reason.
I mean,
he's got a full team.
Felix Okpar still could come back if this ends.
No, he can't.
If this whole 5 to play 5 thing ends up happening.
No, he can't. They already put in a clause saying that if you graduated, it doesn't. Yeah. So no, he can't. Because we thought about the same thing with Carlin Pickens, but that's not going to happen. And shout out Carlin Pickens, #1 overall pick. We talked about that earlier as well. So that's, yeah, man. Great show. And yes, a great question. But I do think Rick Barnes is going to go get one more. I don't think he's going to get 2 more. One, he's got to be running out of monies, right? Like, there's no shot.
I don't know.
I mean, we've got a $20 million basketball roster when we didn't spend but like $11 million on the football team last year. I don't know how that's working out, but whatever. So yeah. We're just
when we make the Final Four next year,
get that entertainment district going, baby. We need some money. Like, nah. But no, great show tonight, Michael, and we'll be back next week. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Vandy, Chris, Rhonda, Matt. Matt, I don't think was actually here tonight, but that's okay. We missed him.
Bo was in here tonight.
Bo was in here, and Tennessee Football 247 was in here. We appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for being tuned in and locked in with us.
Yeah, go Big Orange, everybody.
Let's go Vols.